I'm Detective Graff. This is Detective Bateman.
She had access, she had means, she had motive.
Well, you need to win.
We're doing this my way.
Chicago brings out the very best in all of us. Sex, money, betrayal.
I feel strongly about so many of these women.
You're in the dream now.
Canada's Got Talent, $1 million season!
This is a brain in urgent need of mental health care. But because 3 out of every 4 Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, she may not get the help she needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Good evening, everybody out there in TV land. How are you getting on tonight? It's your boy DC, and this is Out of the Fog. We're a local matter show that goes right across the province, hanging out with all the cool people, making all the cool things happen. Tonight is no exception. The one and only Wade Pinhorn, famed musician and arts leader, is joining us tonight on behalf of the Canadian Folk Music Association. They're coming here. We can't wait. You're going to learn all about that and what that means to you and our folk musicians. And then we have Dr. Sarah Hutchens, who is the owner of the Vision Development Center, female entrepreneur, boss, and has helped so many folks with their vision. And you're going to hear all about the amazing work her and her dedicated team do at the center. This is Out of the Fog. We'll be right back after this break.
Your opinion matters, and we want to hear from you. Get in touch with us using our viewer feedback line, your direct connection to shaping the shows you love. It's easy. Just grab your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and take our quick survey. Share your thoughts, and let's make your viewing experience even better.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Out of the Fog. Well, as you may know, if there is one thing we love around here, it is music of every genre. Folk, of course, lives near and dear in our hearts across the province and beyond. So who better to hang out with me this evening? The one and only Wade Pinhorn. What is going on?
Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. This is the first time being on the couch with me hanging out.
It is.
That's crazy, 4 years in just now. Gotta come back every quarter now just to keep it moving.
No problem, just call me.
I love it. Yeah. So listen, you wear many hats, and so many of us look up to you and appreciate your contributions so much in the musical arena and in business too, because it takes both to make a good thing go right. Am I right?
You're right.
So why don't you do me a favor and just paint me through some of the ways that the viewing audience out here will know your face and the music that you make.
Oh, well. I've been teaching post-secondary music program for over 25 years. I mean, I've won a bunch of different types of awards as a blues piano player with Roger House and Rough Ideas. And, you know, I played for years with Dennis Parker, who we just lost, and with Scott Coady. I mean, in the folk world, I toured across the country with Ron Hines. I was the last bass player in Figgy Duff. you know, and I played Eastern Seaboard of States, across the country, in Ireland, you know, all over. I was mostly known as a bass player, sideman with some of the blues guys, but mostly as a blues piano player.
I mean, I'm just laughing here, I'm sorry. Because the amount of things you have done that are high profile, you're moving through all these things and all these experiences and all these hats, but it's all in one church, you know? The Church of Rock, baby. So what drew you to music?
Oh my God. My parents tell me that they saw me sitting down in front of the magic flute on black and white TV when I was 3 or 4 years old, and I sat transfixed for like 2 hours, and they just kept peeking in. And then I distinctly remember playing my grandmother's piano when I was about that age, and it just made sense to me. I could start playing tunes on it very quickly, and I took lessons all my life. I went to Mount Allison University, and much later I did a master's degree in learning and technology, and I apply that to my workplace, of course. But music was my hobby through school, and when I got to university, I had to practice the piano 3 hours a day, and it was much more of a grind instead of the thing I'd go to when I had my homework done and all that. So I started playing bass as a hobby. And when I finished up university, came back to St. John's, I got a call from Dennis Parker. And I understand you play bass, and the rest was gigging ever since, making tens of dollars.
Well, man, back to that many hats theme that we're talking about back and forth, and under the umbrella of music and performance and art, it is often that way, and thank God it is, because we'd be bored otherwise having to do one thing all day. Do you think diversity in the opportunities that have come your way have led to the longevity that you've had in this industry?
Oh, I believe in that 100%. You know, always growth, growth, growth. I've been teaching so long, and you know, I don't think you can be a good teacher unless you can be taught and learn from your students and learn from life situations and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's always, the beauty of music is it's a never-ending journey. My mother's a visual artist, and my father's a marine biologist, so I'm sort of right down the middle of the two of them. I've got a scientific mind. My father chaired boards of directors and all that kind of stuff, and my mother still paints, just did an art exhibition at 88 years old, hugely successful art exhibition. So, you know, I've always had the push. I literally tossed a coin when I finished high school, chemistry or music.
No way.
I literally am music.
That's amazing.
I would have been just as happy in a chemistry lab. I really would have.
No way. That's cool. I love that. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think a lot of us can say, like, well, I wonder what might have been, you know, and what might be still. The best is yet to come, and it's never too late.
Never too late.
Right?
Yeah. So
I want to say, as young as you are in your shoes of doing all the things that you've done, and you spoke earlier of boards and committees and that journey, and that's been quite an amazing one for you as well. From ECMAs and Music NL, you've really stepped into the arena of boardship and committee work and volunteerism and leadership in a variety of musical industries and verticals, and now there's a new one.
There's a new one, yeah, and now I'm a board member and a local event chair for the Canadian Folk Music Awards that are coming here to St. John's in April, from April 3rd to the 7th.
Wow.
First time in 15 years that it's been here, so that's really exciting, a lot of work. There are only a couple of board members in Eastern Canada because it's a national board, and it kind of defaulted to me because I was here in the city.
Right.
Well, one of our partners, strongest partners, government, is Celebrate NL, has put together my understanding for the Year of the Arts here. And we're probably the first really big event in the Year of the Arts in Newfoundland and Labrador. And artists are coming from all over the country to perform. And we have 2 award shows because we have 21 awards to give away. And we're using the newly renovated Majestic Theater, which we're really thrilled about. It's a beautiful place. Fantastic. And we were lucky enough to have Tony Murray as our producer, who's the absolute top show producer in Atlantic Canada. And we're doing 2 nights there. And we have other events throughout the week. We're doing a really highly elevated folk night with our partners, the Newfoundland Labrador Folk Arts Society, at the Ship on the Wednesday night of that week. And then Thursday night, we have an export buyers program. We've got local artists going up at the Majestic stage in front of those buyers. And we have songwriters, we call it Songs and Stories, at the LSP Hall on Friday night. We've got a trad showcase at the Ship later on Friday night, and the award shows on Saturday and Sunday. And we're doing a couple of education pieces, partnering with the Folk Arts Society and with First Light to do a couple of more public songwriting and traditional instrument workshops and things like that, as well as a youth showcase for our youth nominees. So it's a lot.
Newfound talent competition is something that the Folk Art Society does a lot of, and I wonder, what is the future of folk? And I'm sure you have a lot to say about what you see around here and across Canada based on your role, so why don't you tell me some more?
I'll tell you what I'm seeing is a resurgence of interest in that music by youth. Very much so. I've had a couple of graduates from where I teach who've, one of the members of Kitchen Party, for example. You know, they're really doing well. And there's I think the youth, today's youth is exposed to so much that they're gravitating towards, they're inundated with media constantly. And I think they're gravitating much more towards live music and live music performance. They're really enjoying that. I think COVID has something to do with that. They're out and about and glad to be seeing live music. I think that streaming music and having 100,000 songs on access on your phone is not nearly as special as going out and seeing a set of live music. And folk music is acoustic music mostly, and so that's pretty fascinating as well, right?
True. Well, there's it's a lot more accessible to a variety of ages because it just seems so warm and comforting and cozy and nurturing and soft and sweet and all the things that are easy to get with versus the louder or the thumping or the more aggressive types of genres that we still love, but maybe, you know, will lead you to not want to lean into running out to seeing a show like that unless you want to bring a pair of earplugs. That's a whole other story.
Yeah, that's
so,
right.
I mean, you know, and you're right, the opportunity to engage with folk music as it pertains to this upcoming thing is no joke. And you're right, the diversity in what folk is, because you have everything from the once, right, which is, you know, definitely folk music. But then folk music, I wonder if to the Canadian audience, Newfoundland music and traditional music is butting up into the arena of folk. How do you define it?
Well, I think that the it's part of the fabric of our culture here on the East Coast with all the Celtic roots. And that was one of the selling points for St. John's. It's like if you drop a folk awards and multi-event, not a conference, but event here in St. John's, all ears are open for it. I mean, we just so embrace that. The Majestic Theatre is right across the street from George Street, and you know we're competing with the fiddles and borons and everything that you hear down there. And it's more commonplace, you know, like kitchen parties everywhere, and it just fits. It's a fit for here.
I love it.
It really is.
We're at our final minute here, Wade, so I want you to make sure that you are getting all the viewers out there to know exactly where to go, how to stay in the loop from social to web. Tell us everything.
You get all the information from www.folkawards.ca. We've got it all on our website. Everybody who's performing, all their bios, all that kind of stuff, because artists are coming from all across the country, and we're really making sure that we have gender diversity, that we have, we're including a lot of Indigenous artists. We're making sure that it's a lot of equity right across the board. That's very important. Everything we do is through an EDI focus, and want to make sure that, you know, it's all bilingual, et cetera, et cetera. So it should be a really exciting time, and for that time of year here in St. John's, I think it'll be really a nice kickoff for the Year of the Arts.
That's amazing. Well, with an artist by heart and a brain for business like you, I'm sure we're in good shape for this upcoming event. So thank you so much for coming on. Will you come back again?
I will, absolutely. Thanks so much, Donnie.
Thank you so much. Guys, the man himself, Wade Pinhorn, coming through, talking all about what you need to know about folk music. It's coming on. This is Out of the Fog. We'll be right back after this break.
Your opinion matters, and we want to hear from you. Get in touch with us using our viewer feedback line, your direct connection to shaping the shows you love. It's easy. Just grab your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and take our quick survey. Share your thoughts, and let's make your viewing experience even better.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog, and I told you before the break, if there's one thing that I like, is knowing about the wellness, because we are all in this together as a population that is aging and a whole bunch of upcoming folks who need help in a bunch of ways. I love having practitioners on the show who I can learn a little bit from and may pass that on to you too. And tonight we're joined by the one and only of Vision, and you'll see what I did there in just a second, Dr. Sarah. Oh, I'm going to bring in a groaner to get us going, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Great.
you like that?
I do.
Okay, thank you. So I want to talk all about you now in this little session because we are both members of the Business Association, which is where business owners gather to share ideas, break bread, have a laugh, and get back to that crazy life we chose.
We do.
We do indeed. And so I said, wow, because you did a talk, and it was about, you know, vision development and the area that Sarah works in, and I was so impressed. I was like, come on the show because the people across this province need to know about our eyes.
Thanks.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What drew you into this passion and this work that you do?
I always thought growing up that I'd go somewhere in the science type of field.
Okay.
And then I realized certain areas weren't for me, and growing up I had going to my optometrist, a great experience, and I decided to go into optometry. But going into vision development, vision therapy, vision rehab, so helping people with concussion rehab, learning problems, and eye turns, that was not my passion when I came out of school at all.
No way.
Never thought I'd be doing this in a million years.
Get
but
out!
My one patient who walked in, her name is Megan, and she knows who she is. When she walked in, she changed my life and my practice. And she was having trouble reading. She was in grade 5 using the little reading strip.
Yeah.
And she was having trouble reading, but I was like, she is a bright girl. This doesn't make sense to me why she's having trouble. So it was at that point I went and I did a course. I said, I'll try this. My friends are into this area, but I don't think it's for me. And I tried it. I did it with her. And then her grades improved. She was never able to ride a scooter. She learned to ride a scooter. And then her confidence skyrocketed. So then after that, I was like, okay, maybe this stuff works. And now I run a full practice of it.
I mean, I got to say, you know, like we all come into the evolution of our lives in a million different ways. There's no doubt about it. And some folks were born and they knew what they were going to do. And some of us just evolve through, and that's your story. And I think that's equally important for folks to hear, is that you don't got to have it all figured out up front. Sometimes life fills in the pieces as we go.
This just happened for me, and now it's what I do. I love it.
I got to ask you too, because being a practitioner of it is one thing, but then decide to open your own brand and to be an owner as well as a practitioner. I mean, that is quite the commitment to take on. Was that pre-thought or another evolution that just came to you?
I guess it was an evolution, but more of a planned one. I started to, I guess, dabble in this area of vision training and rehab, and especially focusing on pediatrics, and the space that I was in just didn't allow me to do it, so I needed to go out on my own. And I just needed more space, so then I opened when Omicron hit.
That whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect timing to open.
It was great, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And so I got to ask you, when you think about then an opening when you did to do what you have fallen in love with doing, when you look back at all of the patients that you have worked with, I mean, what comes to your mind? Are you proud?
Yeah, I am. Like I go into work and I'm happy every day, and my team is amazing. I have the best people there, and like I feel that they've all learned a lot of skills there. And I have these amazing certified vision therapists that work with me, but you can't train the personality, and the empathy that they have and the understanding, the ability they have with patients is second to none. And that's what I pride ourselves on what we do. Like, we are there to listen and to help, because sometimes we're a last resort. People have been everywhere else and they can't solve their problems or their headaches, and we're the last resort. So I feel like, you know, I'm so proud of my team for being able to help with that.
You bring up a really good point, because, you know, empathy and care and health care is an interesting term, because sometimes we get the health and we don't get the care. But that is, to be compassionate through that statement, is about resources and how hectic it is and how challenging it is to deliver health care to the people of the province. And I'm sure that there are growing challenges, but also growing opportunities.
Yeah.
And so in the spirit of being positive, let's talk about the opportunities that be, and maybe we'll start about in your own clinic in terms of services, advancements, things that are coming down the pipe, new tools and training. Like, what does your life look like when it comes to professional development? Because what you do is always advancing, I'm sure.
It is. I love professional development. I love going on training courses. There's always more to learn. Like, everything is always evolving. So if I can offer a service better to my patients, so I usually travel once a year.
Okay.
So I'm going now, I get to go to the International Congress of Behavioral Optometry this year. So that's actually, though, in Canada, which is amazing. So I'm going to get to hear speakers from all over the world, and they bring ideas, and it could be from concussion rehab, stroke rehab in the visual system, kids' trouble with learning, or again, eye turns, and learning about that from all over the world.
That's my jam. I want to go away, but I want to also like come back richer from that experience.
Whenever I go on these, it's so much richer.
Yeah. Well, because you get a bit of a space away from your life as well, which I'm sure the number of clients and patients, you know, and the staff, I mean, that's a lot to take on every day, and a family life as well, and volunteerism that you do, and friendships, and. How do you fit it all in, girl?
Sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
Not always do I. I try to balance it the best I can. And I have a really great supportive partner and family, and without them, I wouldn't be able to do it, and a team at work. And other than that, you just have to prioritize what you need to prioritize at that moment. But yeah, someday something falls out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right?
And it's going to do that.
We have healthy children. Everyone's okay at the end of the day. Everyone's fed. We've done a good job.
I love it. That's amazing. So listen, I want to ask you, in our final minute and a half of hang here, if I am someone who is experiencing realities around vision, if I am the parent of a child who is exhibiting challenges in developmental what have you, what is your advice to them, viewing here tonight?
I think having an eye exam is so important. Starting off with a routine eye exam is important because so many kids get missed. They need glasses and they get missed. But we focus on more than glasses, so how are the eyes teaming together? Are they working together efficiently? And how that affects you day to day, in school, driving, at the grocery store. Some people can't grocery shop because it's too overwhelming. So, check us out on our website, and then if you feel like, okay, this could fit for me, then we do an extensive exam. You could be with us for 1 to 2 hours. Okay. So it's quite extensive, but then we can try to figure out if there a visual problem that's causing other things in your life to be difficult for you.
Wow, that's amazing. So guys, I'll let you know, if you are experiencing vision scenarios, or someone you love maybe as well, Dr. Sarah is your girl. Her and an amazing team, the Vision Development Center, they can hook you up and really help you to embrace the future of whatever you got going on. Will you come back and hang out with us again?
I'd love to, yeah.
Yeah? I want to learn more. I want you to do an eye exam on me maybe for a laugh. We'll tape that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll start there.
Okay.
Thanks, Sarah.
All right, thank you.
Guys, this is Out of the Fog. That was Dr. Sarah. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Out of the Fog tonight. It's so great to hang out with passionate, dedicated people from the arts to medicine, both in business and beyond. It takes it all to make a good thing go right. And to play us out in this Paddy's Day era, here's some Newfoundland music, Live Until I Die, by the one and only Chris Andrews and the boys from Shanneyganock. This is Out of the Fog. We'll see you next time.
I'm gonna live until I die. I'm not the type to hang my head and cry. I may drink a couple of beer, I might get a little high. I'm gonna live until I die. Wasn't long after I was born that I first had red meat, and chicken wings and greasy things were such a weekly treat. But now I'm told the food I love is not the best for me. Guess we'll have to wait it out and see. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm not the type to hang my head and cry. I may drink a couple of beers, I might get a little high. I'm gonna live until I die. Love to have a few beer every day, but now they say it's not the proper way. I'll hide away and do my thing, my solitude I'll keep, if I can only have 2 beers a week. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm not the type to hang my head and cry. I may drink a couple of beers, I might get a little high. I'm gonna live until I die. Don't get me wrong, I know the smoke's no good. It's probably time to give them up, yes I probably should. Price it keeps on climbing, it's almost at the max. Guess we pay our way with all that tax. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm not the type to hang my head and cry. I may drink a couple of beer, I might get a little high. I'm gonna live until I die. I know they are bad habits, this I plainly see. But remember, it's the government that provides it all to me. It's probably true what they recommend and say, but it's my own life and I'll live it my own way. I haven't got the palate for just water and green salad, so I'm gonna live until I die. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm not the type to hang my head and cry. I may drink a couple of beers, I might get a little high. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm not the type to hang my head and cry. I may drink a couple of beers, I might get a little high. I'm gonna live until I die.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
We want to hear from you. Provide feedback on this show or find out how you can get involved. Call, email us, or scan the QR code to take our quick survey.
I'm Detective Graff. This is Detective Bateman.
I don't know.